Hello everyone, welcome to PassionWaterTarot. My name is Mama Do, and today is Missing Person Monday, where I do intuitive readings and ask spirit guides, angels, and ancestors to guide us with any information that they can reveal regarding a missing person. And so today, we're going to cover the case of Jenna. Then, let's see if I can say her last name correctly. Gelderen, Jenna Van Gelderen. Jenna went missing from her parents' home in the Druid Hills neighborhood of Atlanta, Georgia, April the 19th, August the 19th, 2017. So it's been 4 years now. We just had the 4-year anniversary of her disappearance. She was house and cat sitting for her parents while they were in Canada. And there had been her brother coming over to help medicate the cat because the cat required medicine, and also a vet assistant. So several people were having contact with Jenna, and she was expected to stay the weekend. Hello, Buttercup. Let's come off the table, please. Thank you, girl. My cat decided to join us. But they have not found any evidence of Jenna since she disappeared. Now, they did locate her car because it was missing from the home. But let's go back to when she was discovered missing. Her brother showed up on Saturday morning, and the house was locked. The lights and the TV had been left on, but there was no trace of Jenna or her purse, her cell phone, or her car. They were all gone. Also, there was this tapestry, an Egyptian-style tapestry that had been framed. And the glass had been removed, and the tapestry, they keep calling it tapestry. It looks like a quilt to me. I saw pictures of it. It looks like a quilt. But it was missing. Stolen, gone, not where it was supposed to be. Okay? It had been removed from its frame. The tapestry had very little monetary worth, but had a lot of sentimental value to the family. So, even though this was missing, robbery did not look like it had been a part of the scenario. The house was in a little bit of disarray, but that had to do with that on Thursday, Jenna had a little gathering, and they used some of the bedrooms upstairs, and she just didn't clean up afterwards. That's what it looked like. Not like a struggle. The police said as far as all this went, they had never seen anything like it. Let's see, what else should I tell you? 2 weeks after she went missing, her car was located. It was a Mazda 6 sedan, and it was found on the streets of Atlanta. It was unlocked. Her handbag, suitcase, and clothing were inside. Everything but her phone. At that point, they had located everything but her phone. Now, it took a lot of doings to get the police department to properly investigate the car by doing fingerprints. The family had to complain. The dad had to complain. The car was covered in leaves and various debris as if it had been sitting there for a while. And her belongings were kind of strewn throughout the interior. And there was evidence that somebody else had driven the car, because Jenna was not tall. So whoever this was had placed the seat all the way down and all the way to the rear, not laying down but back, so that long legs could fit. There was a cell phone charger that didn't match either of Jenna's phones, because they found out she had her iPhone that it looks like her parents paid for, but she had gotten a secondary phone from Metro PCS and used a variation of her middle name and first name on the contract for that phone. But the charger found in the car did not match either one of those phones. Her brother has been very diligent in keeping the investigation going and trying to get information. But the police said they found no other evidence in Jenna's car, and they returned it to the family. Now, let's go back to that second phone, the Metro phone. Family had no idea about it. They didn't know it existed. It pinged. They managed to get court orders to get the records from that phone. And it was easy enough to get the records for the iPhone because it was on a family account. The Metro phone pinged in Fairburn, Georgia, about 20 miles away from her home at 7:15 a.m. on the morning she vanished. Around the same time, her car was spotted by a license plate reader camera back in Atlanta, which is interesting because the secondary phone is pinging in one spot 20 miles away, but the car is spotted in Atlanta, same time frame. It's unknown if Jenna was in her car with her phone or at a neighbor's location. Police say they're confident that the car and the phone were not in the same place. So they believe the phone was in one area and the car was in another. So of course that would mean Jenna couldn't be in two places at one time. As I said, her brother has been very diligent. His name is Will. In getting the court orders needed to access her phone records and her social media accounts. And through a series of Google chats, family learned she had spoken to unknown individuals the night she vanished. And the individual was pressuring Jenna to leave her family's home and return to her apartment, according to Leon. However, they haven't been able to determine who sent those messages to Jenna. Jenna was high functioning autism, diagnosed in 2016. Although she was independent, she had moved out of her parents' home in the months prior to her vanishing. Her dad and mom, Leon and Roseanne, said that Jenna was extremely trusting and vulnerable, and that she could be easily manipulated. She had recently lost a job due to coercion. They said she was coerced. Now, this is coming from the family. That she was coerced into stealing $3,000 from a local pet store that she worked at. That led to her being terminated. And as they explored the records, they discovered she had been making payments to someone through Western Union since 2015. But that the transfers had stopped in the months leading up to her disappearance. Well, she didn't have a job. She didn't have her own place. She was kind of couch surfing at a young man's place. So she didn't have the money to keep sending to somebody. But her dad believes that she unwittingly was involved in some questionable activity. They believe when she went missing, she was wearing a green t-shirt with San Antonio on it, a black tank top, and black yoga pants. She's only 4'11" and weighs about 140 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. And she's not been spotted. People have not been saying that they're seeing her anywhere. So what happened to Jenna? Let's see what Spirit has to say. So Holy Spirit, Spirit God, angels and ancestors, please come into this reading with love and light to provide the highest level of clarity to those receiving messages, and ask that chakras be open to allow those messages to be received with ease. Holy Spirit, what information can you reveal to us regarding the disappearance of Jenna Van Gelderen? Thank you for all messages forthcoming. What say ye? The Star in reverse. Hold on, let me get the camera up here so I make sure I'm showing you the cards. The Star in reverse. A loss of hope. A feeling of being down and out. Page of Swords. Being misguided. Messages that are less than honest. Being manipulated. Being coerced. That's a good word for it. Coerced. Feeling trapped within a world that you truly don't belong. What other messages, Spirit, regarding Jenna can you reveal to us? Feeling lost. Very down and out. Not being able to trust. The King of Wands. Somebody who had a take charge attitude. This is how it's going to be done. You're going to follow through with what I tell you. The Page of Cups in reverse. An immature, gentle soul. Spirit is telling me this is the energy of Jenna. Very immature. Falls victim to manipulative ideals from others. Lovers. Believing that they're really her friends, that they're really caring about her. That she is important to them. The Devil. Something binding. Very binding. Whether it's addiction, drugs, alcohol, sex, manipulation, food. It's holding her captive. It was holding her energy captive. Making, see the look on the girl's face. Like, oh, okay, I'm going to do it, but I'm not comfortable with this. I'm going to do it because you say you're my friend. You say you love me. You say that you need me. Page of Pentacles. Yeah. They are sending messages to her. Proclaiming stability and groundedness in this relationship. That without her, they wouldn't be able to accomplish their goal. That she has to do this. Temperance. There's a Sagittarian involved here. There's also a Gemini involved here. And a Capricorn. And an Aquarius. There's a lot of people involved. This Capricorn, excuse me, Sagittarius. It's like the ringleader of this situation. they were telling Jenna that when she takes care of all this stuff for them, it brings healing to them. And if she doesn't, then it's going to put them under more stress. Because they have no other way to resolve it without Jenna. Nine of Cups. Feeling this important in these people's lives. Feeling this groundedness to bring about this healing for these people. It's a wish fulfillment for Jenna because she wants to be important. She wants to matter. And she feels so distant from so many people. But if she's able to get the money that they want, provide the information, the money for these people, then she will be important to them. And that'll be a wish fulfillment for her. The Two of Pentacles in reverse. Going through with it. Doing what they tell her to do. Putting herself in jeopardy. The Two of Pentacles is about making decisions. And here the decision was made. Let's see what that decision is. So what clarifiers do we have for this reading, Spirit? For Jenna von Gelderen, who vanished in August the 19th, 2017. Thank you for all messages forthcoming. What say ye? Yeah. The Four of Cups in reverse. Yeah. She didn't hold back her love. She wanted to show them her love for them. Her attachment to them. She wanted to feel important to these people. What she didn't see was she wasn't important to them. What was important to them is what they could get from her. That's why there was a loss of hope. When she lost her job and her family wasn't paying all her expenses, that left a situation to where she had to come up with another way to get money for these people. An Aries, an Emperor, somebody who was in charge, somebody who wanted to be the big wig. They felt that they had a way with talking Jenna into doing whatever they wanted her to do. And this person not only thought everything out, but they actually participated in getting Jenna to do things that she was uncomfortable with. What other clarifying cards do you have, Spirit? The Seven of Wands. Yeah, that's her trying to stand up to them. Trying to say, you know, I'm not comfortable with this. I don't want to do this anymore. So she's trying to stand up against the masses. She's trying to go a different route. She wants to change her path. She wants to move away from this group of people. But how can she get away from them? They're in so much control of her. They're in so much control over her that they have her with a second thumb so that they're not calling her and texting her on her primary phone because they don't want anybody to know that they're manipulating this young lady who has functional autism. So she takes back her offer of stability. Well, she has to. She don't have a job. She don't have any means of paying bills. It upset the apple cart. Boy, did it ever upset that apple cart. That's the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. They thought she was going to be loyal to them, even if she was uncomfortable. Spirit's already told me it has something to do with a binding activity, whether it's an addiction, alcohol, drugs, sex, even food. It could have to do with illegal behaviors. There were mentions on Reddit that there might have been some human trafficking going on at Jenna's expense. And when Jenna wanted to take a different path, they became very upset with her. They were very concerned they would be found out. And they couldn't afford that. Okay, this is Jenna talking to us here. Okay, so I'm going to put this right over here. The Ace of Cups in reverse, a loss of self-love, a loss of self-respect, overstepped a boundary, realized that these people did not love her. They were not her friends. They were not looking out for her best interests. Page of Wands in reverse. An angry message. Now, that could have been a verbal message. A phone call. I haven't seen anywhere, and I've read a lot of what the brother has written. I didn't see anything saying that anybody was telling her off or her telling anybody else off. But she wasn't going back. She had no intention of continuing that behavior that she was so uncomfortable with. She realized that things were being, that's the moon card, card of Pisces. Things were being done in the dark. And that she was being used. She was being manipulated. And it wasn't in her best interest. And it hurt her. She was very upset to discover that these people had just flat out lied to her to use her. And so she was breaking off the relationship between them. She told them that she was done participating in what they wanted. So what happened then? What happened once Jenna said no? Let's find out. Holy Spirit, Spirit God, angels and ancestors, when Jenna told this group of people that she was no longer participating, what happened? The Six of Pentacles. Well, I'm an intuitive reader. So, for the Six of Pentacles, normally most readers say it's a balance. But see, I'm intuitive. Do you see that picture? One person gets everything and one person gets nothing. Jenna was the one who got nothing. And those who were getting everything were very upset. They saw her as beneath them and that she needed to do what they said. What else do you have to reveal to us, Spirit? Yeah, there was no balance. They wanted what they wanted, when they wanted it, and how they wanted it. They expected Jenna to continue on that path. So they had a little meeting because Jenna's saying, no, I'm not doing this no more. I'm done. It's over. You don't really care about me. And I got to take care of me. The Ace of Pentacles. Yeah. The Ace of Pentacles in reverse. During the meeting, they made a decision that Jenna was going to do what they said, or they were going to have to handle it. So the strongest of them met up with Jenna to persuade her to continue along the path that they had all been on together. Now, I don't know what Jenna was doing. In Reddit, some say there was a level of human prostitution going on. It could have been drug delivering, being a mule. Could be a lot of things. They had already coerced her into stealing from her job. And she was sending money until she didn't have any to send anymore. They swarmed on her. When I say swarmed on her, they bullied her. It's like they had her in a corner. And it was her against the group. And they were threatening her. And Jenna tried to get away. That's the World card. She tried to make her way out of where they were at. I want to know where they were at. Let's ask Spirit. Holy Spirit, Spirit God, angels and ancestors, these people that cornered Jenna, where were they all at together? Where did they corner Jenna at? The Knight of Swords in reverse. They were no longer pretending to care. It was nothing but threats. Nothing but letting her know that if she didn't follow through, harm would come to her. Page of Swords. It's a younger person in the group. And that's the person that hurt Jenna. But where were they, Spirit? In a field. They were in a field. It happened in a field. By a lake. By a stream. It's on a path. Right off the path, I should say. Hold on. What town was that? Where the phone pinged at? I love going back to my notes and trying to figure some things out. There we go. Fairburn, Georgia. Let me pull up a map. There's a stream. It's not a big lake. It's a stream. And she's just off the path. Or at least that's where it happened at. The 10 Swords, the betrayal, the devastation, the physical assault. It's where the phone is. It's where it happened at. And she was left alone. She was left alone. Yeah, there's that younger person. The one that started the attack. And that Five of Pentacles is clarified by the Page of Cups. Yeah, she didn't expect it to happen. She didn't see it coming when she got in that car that night. She was called to these people that night under false pretenses. They said they needed her help, but it was just setting her up to bully her. And if she didn't back down and do what they said, then it was going to be where she was harmed. Several people knew what happened. It was not just one person. There was a minimum of 2 people there. One is kind of young. Spirit guide, angels, and ancestors. Will the younger person speak up and tell what happened to Jenna? We have 2. They will. They're going to communicate. There's going to be a lot of backwards and forwards communication. Now, whether that's them communicating with the brother or with the police officer, both will help get things utilized. Because this person has what it takes to bring Jenna home. They have the information as to where she's located. And what all happened. This younger person initiated the attack because they themselves were being bullied by this group of individuals. These are definite traffickers. I can't even say the word. Traffickers. And they find young people who are going through a challenging time and convince them that they're their friends and that they care about them and that they need their help. Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, Angels, and Ancestors, can we have a Romance Oracle card for Jenna? Thank you for all messages forthcoming. What say ye? Yeah. Jenna, I know Jenna was 24, I believe it was. But in her heart, she was, because of the autism, she was less mature than most 25-year-olds, okay? And this is about children. And this group of people do prey on children as well. And Jenna's life was absolutely affected by those who prey on children, those emotionally challenged, those who take advantage of others. Now, Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, Angels, and Ancestors, please provide an Archangel Oracle card. Counselor. Archangel Azrael, you're a natural counselor, and many people benefit from your guidance and reassurance. And I see that as there is going to be a detective, an investigator, private investigator, public investigator, someone who's going to have contact with this younger energy. Someone that's going to put the two pieces together. And during that interview, this person is finally going to speak up and tell what happened to Jenna and where she's located. Now, for all people invested in this case, family, friends, loved ones, and all those who are hearing this reading, I ask Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, Angels, and Ancestors to please provide a card of advice from Alice in Wonderland Oracle deck. Thank you for all messages forthcoming. What say ye? Keep talking, everybody. Keep talking. Somebody's finally going to talk to the right person that's going to supply the actual facts of what happened to Jenna on that fateful night when she was lured away from her parents' home and then cornered and taken advantage of. Keep your temper. Number 20. Don't allow anger to rule you. That is so super important as a card of advice. Because you will absolutely collect more honey from the bees with kindness than you will from anger. Being pushed, running out of your patience, feeling like the people about you are not cooperative. Evasive companions and bothersome circumstances. The need to keep your temper cool and in check. Remind yourself you will go far further when you harness your power and use it at the right time. Which is, by the way, not right now. Keep the lines of communication open. You're going to find the person, the younger person that was there. The person that started the attack. The person that was coerced into doing this. Into starting it. The person that was coerced into luring Jenna away from the safety of her parents' home. And then you'll have all the power you need to put all the ones in jail for what they have done. There will be justice at that point. Now, to everyone invested in this case, be nice to each other in the comments below. Remember that many times families and friends read these comments, and we want to be as respectful to them as possible. They're the ones who has to wake up every day with this tragedy. And I never do accept any money of any sort for any of these missing people readings or criminal cases. Alright? So, I'll see you all soon with your next reading. Please bring Jenna home. Contact the numbers listed if you have any viable information to help. Namaste.